Greetings, my spooky fans, and welcome back to another thrilling encounter of Unholy Encounters. I'm here with my favorite icon, and for those of you who don't know me, this is Samara Hex Di'Angelo presenting myself. But today's not about me. Today's about my favorite icon, the cosplay genius, the Way. You guys don't know her from Atlanta. She's from there. .com.
From Orlando? I'm from Atlanta, yes.
Atlanta, that's what I said.
Oh, hey, yeah. No, I am very happy to be here. This is kind of fun. I'm glad we got to actually do this, like another crossover episode this year, basically.
Yeah, the last time I saw you was Dragon.
Yes, exactly. It was that bitchin'. It was fun.
Well, if we go into it, how are you feeling, girl?
I think feeling pretty good, I would say. It's been like really an interesting time so far for my drag career because I haven't been in drag in 2 weeks and like that was like wild to me. I'm like, oh, okay. Like do I still remember how to paint? Like what's going on? I don't know. It's been less gigs because we're post October. You know what I mean?
It's always like, for those of you guys that aren't fans, it's always a struggle for us drag artists. December and October. That's the busiest months for me. So,
Right, yeah.
well,
No, especially in Atlanta too, we have Atlanta Pride that happens.
oh yeah, when
So,
does that happen, by the way? Because I know we have ours in October.
oh, okay, yeah. So same. Ours is also in October, so that's partially why I'm you know
Yeah, we're all
happy for
spread
you all.
out.
Great, but very surprised by it.
Well, we have a lot to talk about, and it's time to dive in deep in a section I like to call Inferno Revelations.
Ooh.
So you're widely celebrated for fusing cosplay with drag. Could you walk us through that journey?
Yeah, for sure. So let's see. When I started doing like this whole entire thing, I was like more of a wannabe closet cosplayer when I first started. So, I would like see whatever like t-shirts and stuff I could like rip up and be like kind of the superhero a little bit. Or like, the one I always go back to is like little gender bends because I wanted to be Raven from Teen Titans. And I was like, okay, I feel like, a little bit inadequate because I can't like give that full like Raven fantasy. I have to be like, oh, I'm the boy version. And so like when season eight of Drag Race came out, Dax exclamation point was on there. And that's kind of like when I got to see like, oh, you can like, be black and do cosplay and do drag and like give like all these super sickening looks. And so I was like, oh my gosh, wait, this seems like so much fun. How do I get into this? Not even how I get into this. I was like, who does it in my city? So I can tell them, oh my God, you should do this cosplay. You should do this cosplay. And then I realized there wasn't really anybody in my city who did that. So I took
So
it
would you
upon
say you
myself.
started like the nation and movement down there for cosplay?
I don't think I started any like movement really. I don't know. Like so when it comes to like dragon cosplay being combined, there's like Coochie Coochie Coo in Atlanta and Siberia. I think it's like I don't even know if I really influenced a lot of it because when I started doing cosplay and drag and stuff, I didn't have a lot of money and so I kind of had to like wear like one of the two costumes, like the cosplay costumes I had over and over again. But then they were like, "Hey, can you do anything else besides those two?" And I'm like, "Okay, fine." And so I think it took some time to like really like build like a drag career. And so I had to like put aside a few costumes. And then it wasn't until COVID happened and during the lockdown where I was able to actually sit down and really focus on what I want to do because I wasn't doing drag for the gigs. I was like, well, I want to be Kitty Pride. So let me go ahead and work on a Kitty Pride look. So it wasn't until like 2021 that I was able to like, at least, I could tell people I do cosplay. Now I can like more so show people after I've built like, more examples of what I do, if that makes sense.
So if we move on to like a follow-up question I've always like had for you after that,
Mhm.
what is it like when you mix those two forms together? Because I know one thing that you do that really inspires me is not
Yeah.
only the gender fluidity, but also like mixing drag with cosplay.
Like, what does it feel like to do that? I think
Yeah.
it's definitely it's a definitely interesting combination, I would say, because there's still a lot of I don't know the better word for this, but like a little bit of like selling out you still have to do kind of. So like I think for me in order to like as I said before, I had to kind of like learn to do regular drag and then bring in cosplay just so I could like, be marketable. Um but then also there's been times where I'd like do a specific character that I don't really think is that niche, especially for regular gigs and shows. And people are like, what is this? I have no idea what costume this
Yes.
is supposed to be or what character you are. And so like I say like sell out, but it's like I'm not gonna go like and do like, you know, very, very hyper specific niche things because I still like to be booked in places. But it's still really nice when you do get to be hyper specific about that character you love. And then there's like one person in the room, like one person who like also freaks out about it too, if that makes sense. You're like,
Yes.
oh, you also play Blinks too? That's crazy. So yeah, no, it's definitely rewarding, I would say, and it's like really fun to also be able to put your own spin on a different character. Like Halloween, everybody brings out like cosplay drag. And so like it's nice when yeah, there's like 1,000 Velmas, but you're like, how's my Velma different? How's my Velma me? And like, it really does you get like love pride in your work too, being like, I'm committed to this specific niche that just brings me a lot of joy. So yeah.
Well, I'm glad that brings you like a lot of joy. Not many people like understand what it takes to get like this every day.
Right.
So let's get into details. When you're crafting these looks, what's the first step? Do you start with character in mind, the makeup, the costume, or do you just go with the flow?
It's honestly character in mind. Look, if I'm gonna like do like a whole bunch of work on something, it's not gonna be for somebody who I don't care about.
Mhm.
Uh, so like usually, I've been doing for the past few years is really just kind of like diving deep into like the characters who I like. I still have like plans and stuff, so I'm still like literally like 3 years into this color cosplay series I've been doing where I did like Knuckles and Sailor Venus and then Cher from Clueless. And like all those characters like mean something to me, and the only color that I haven't done yet is blue. And I
You could do Sonic. Sonic's about to come out this year.
well, here's also the thing is like I've already done a Knuckles character, and so I don't want to lean too heavy into like one or the
Mhm.
other. And so I want to be from something different because I did my X-Men series before. And so I think what my blue was, my blue was originally going to be Mega Man from Mega Man Battle Network,
Ooh, yeah.
but I haven't worked with a lot of Ava foam, and I don't feel like trying to like try and fail for this one specific thing. So I'm actually gonna be doing Hatsune Miku. So
Ooh.
yeah, after I picked yeah, because I cosplayed her like in high school, just all willy-nilly for Halloween once. And so yeah, I all that I have left, I made the costume already, just like practicing with random scraps I had. I just have to wait for the hair to be made, and that
Mm.
hair is going to take uh, the person told me they'd have it to me in a month. So I'm patiently waiting so I can finally be done with this 3 year long photo series. And then no more photo series ever again. It'll just be one by one. But yeah, to answer your question, it is character first and then character costume, then hair. So I have a garnet I'm sitting on also.
Yeah.
And that costume is half done, but I have no idea how I'm gonna make the square afro. I'm like we'll figure it out later, but yeah. So, that's kind
I
of
know
how.
you. I believe in you to figure it out.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a challenge, but I think and I'll probably commission that too.
Mhm. Well, how has your style evolved since you first started drag? Were there any elements or inspirations that you use now that you wouldn't have considered back then?
So I'm like dipping back into some an older look, or like right now I have my little like Bride Bomber Fortnite costume on because I'm like, all right, that's something cute that I can like throw on really quickly. But then like I think I started a lot with more of the Amazon, costumes just because I'm like, all right, it's easy. I have no idea. I have like no money. Why am I even starting drag? But as long as you have something on, people can like see it, like it, respect it. So I had my Amazon costume era. Then after that, I had my custom dye sub era. And so that would be like, it's still like a dye sub suit like this,
Yeah.
except I commissioned the artist to make a specific design for a character that I liked, and they got that custom printed also. So it was a little bit, you know, harder to access for the average person because sometimes what happened is you wear a costume from Amazon and then someone else would also be wearing it too. So that's always awkward.
You
Uh,
mean I've had that feeling where people are just like, I love how your style changed compared to how you used to it back then, where you used to wear costumes from Party City because they were from Amazon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, the glow up definitely happens, and people notice. Um, yeah, after my dye sub era, I was in my sequin era, and I just ended my sequin era because a lot of my wigs got messed up because of the fabric. So, and now we're entering. I don't know. I don't know. We'll figure out something. I think it'll be like more spandex again, but then just with more rhinestones. So, yippee-ki-yay.
So you hear that, Finn? Stott is now going to try to venture into different eras.
Yeah, I did spandex before. It's just like I never like by the time I made the costume, I was like, I'm bored. I kind of hate this. I'm just gonna wear this as is. So yeah, stoning is just so much work. But if it is commission,
I feel that like whenever I'm doing because I like a lot of leather and a lot of tight fitting like clothes.
yeah,
And people always ask me, they're like, why do you never wear like more of like sparkle and all of that shit? I'm like, because you got to notice what Samara, she's a leather, she's a tight fitted girl. She's like, I'm not gonna put glitter on an outfit unless it really calls for it.
exactly. Yeah, because otherwise it's like, why am I putting in all that extra effort? Like for what?
Yes, and stoning does take a long fucking time. I
hmm
remember watching three Drag Race episodes just to stone an outfit for like competition I was in a year ago.
Right. Oh my gosh, we do not have that time right now. So yeah, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. New era coming. Lo and behold.
Well, mentioning new eras, is there a cosplay character you've been dying to tackle but haven't yet?
Okay, so like my dream character, there's like two that I
Hmm.
like really want to do. Actually, let's go with a few. So there's three. The first one is from Spy Kids 3, that Carmen's pink little gamer girl suit.
Oh,
Yeah, with like the claws and everything. I'm obsessed. I've been obsessed with it. Just have not even like sat down to figure out how to even make that. So I'm like, all right, we'll save that for like a commission.
yes.
Same vein is another pink girly from Robert Rodriguez is Lava Girl. Uh, so I don't know. I feel like those two kind of inspired me a lot. But then the third thing I want to do is Cyborg from Teen Titans.
I can see that.
Yeah, because like what happens? So with Cyborg, um, when it comes to like just going to a convention and like you see all these cosplayers and stuff, and they do a Teen Titans group. Usually they don't have a cyborg. It'd be like Robin and Raven and Starfire and some twink dressed up as Beast Boy.
Yes.
Never found a cyborg. And so am I gonna fix their problems? No. I just want to be like, I have a cyborg and I can help you for money. I don't know. We'll see. But I really just want to have one just because I feel like he's super underrepresented when it comes to like, the average con cosplay experience.
Mhm. One of the ones that I actually do want to do to follow that up is my dream one is actually Bledsoe because I love Brandon Rogers so much.
Oh yeah.
But the only problem I have with my designer, he's like, how the fuck do you do those fucking horns?
Uh, You find out, I guess it's like a lot of trial and error. Like you just have to fail a lot, spend a lot of money figuring out how like to make those work for you.
I'm like, I might have to commission a wig designer to design the horns for me.
Yeah, I don't know what Golgi's doing, but there's like I think people figured out like how to make wig horns a little bit more so nowadays than they used to back in the day. So like it's more of a common endeavor. I think it's honestly just like wrapping a like foam. with hair. So half of it isn't even like real
Yeah, I
hair.
think that's what happened with me with my devil horn wig, but then the
Yeah.
foam ended up falling out over time as like, wigs like you have to rejuvenate after like a period of time.
Yeah.
So I was telling my like wig designer who designs my wigs for me now, I was like, yeah, I'm glad I'm buying wigs from you every month because when I go on Drag Race in the next few years,
Yeah.
then I can basically ship all of these to you and be like, you redesign these and I'll pay you.
You go.
Yeah,
There. Oh, that way you're
I was
prepared.
thinking smart. Well, what's the biggest challenge when it comes to blending the cosplay when it comes to drag? I know we touched on this like a little bit, but is there like a biggest challenge that we haven't spoken of yet?
I mean, I think it's like one, making sure what you're doing is still recognizable by the average person. I think for me, because a bigger difference, which is why I also like being more drag focused with drag and cosplay, is that drag pays and cosplay, in my experience, at least in the earlier aspects of it, it doesn't really pay you like that. So like I don't know. I feel like stuff that I can wash and like rewear pretty easily is like, great stuff that I also like to, not blend, but I make sure that the drag that I do, yeah, it's like something that I could easily store.
Mhm.
Um Otherwise I'd be like, drowning in, like all these armor pieces and stuff, and I don't have time for that. And of course, like in addition to like, armor pieces, you don't want to like you want to be able to still perform in your costumes too. So, it's like a lot of like versatility and making sure that it's still usable for performing is like very important to consider, in my opinion.
I know something that I see from you, like your style a lot. I'm just like, okay, how did Dot do that? And like, how do I do that for Samara?
Yeah. No, honestly, like a lot of like what I do, it's like I just know like a few pattern pieces. So there's a thing called like fabric fusing. So I just like, if it has like a little emblem on it, I just like literally put one piece of fabric over the other and then trace around the outside so it looks like one piece of fabric. Then I just know how to make gloves, skirts, yeah, gloves, skirts, and bodysuits. And like it's just a really weird combination of like all three of those things that allows for me to like, get take care of most costumes. Like so especially if you're more superhero based.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I try to keep my costumes in a very certain way because you don't want them to get messed up.
Right. Yeah,
Never know when you're needed again.
for sure. It's because getting it back again is gonna be like, ugh, even more work and not fun.
Well, that has been the end of Infernal Relevations, but fans, stay tuned because I got a game for Dot next.
Exciting.
I am back. Dot, I have a game for you.
A game. All right, I'm down to play.
Well, in this game, it's called Shade and Glade. I'll name some local Atlanta queens and kings, and all of them in between. And I
Hmm.
want you to give us your take on each one's drag aesthetic. Imagine each artist belongs to a glade or a mystical realm. Name the type of creature or mystical icon they would embody there. You got it?
Yes. All right.
So first up, I have Taylor Alexander.
Taylor Alexander, she is, I would say she lives in, oh, this is actually so hard. Oh, So Taylor's very professional. She is a businesswoman. What is the most businesswoman of the fantasy creatures, I would say? I would have to say like I don't want to say Medusa
Hmm.
necessarily. This is hard actually. She's
I'll let you take
actually
a second to think about that one.
she's an alicorn. She's an alicorn because she's the rarest of the rare. She can do literally just about anything. She's magical and she's a boss. So yeah, an alicorn.
An alicorn. Yatoya Leon.
So she is the siren because Mama, her pipes are literally everything. So like, she does like a lot of like live singing and whatnot. Um, and so like it's just like amazing and fantastic. She has like Song's out right now. So like Siren, absolutely hands down.
Deacon Slanders.
Deacon is a goblin, non-derogatory. He's just like super camp. So it's just like not like a I say goblin, but like troll, impish, maybe an imp. There we go. That's a better word. He's an imp. Whatever the difference
Yeah.
between imp and goblin is. I feel like goblin's more derogatory. So an imp, I would say.
J. Bella Banks.
She is Medusa. There we go.
Yeah.
It's getting easier. And so she's Medusa because I think she's very like sensual, seductive, but then also she smokes a lot, so she's stoned.
King Percocets.
King Percocets. Oh, that's my drag son. Okay. He is also very like justery, jokey as well, but also sometimes scary. But like honestly, he's like such a big like softy and sweetie. Hmm. But also like sometimes like skitterish. I don't know how I would like describe him as a mystical creature. Where would you find him? He would be, oh my gosh. He would be like an elf.
No.
Some
Are we
type of,
talking like Christmas up, or we what like which world are we talking about there?
I would just say he like spans like a variety of elves. A little bit of a Christmas elf, I would say.
Hmm.
Like very he'd be a Christmas elf, but like Krampus is Christmas elf
I
because he
see
could
that.
also like do his like scary stuff too. But there we go.
Bellatrix.
Bellatrix is a oh my gosh, let's see. Creature mystical icon. She's very conceited.
Mhm.
Uh and I say this with love. But she's like she's a Leo, hands down. Um so maybe like a griffin or something. Yeah, like a griffin.
So like the mystical
Like
griffins that you see.
maybe something with like a lion mixed in there because of her
Mhm.
like Leo aspects. But then no 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 no. Okay, so we said siren already, but there has to be like some creature that like just sits out there and makes fun of you. I have no idea what that would be. What's a creature that does
I'm trying to think. Could Sphinx be maybe? Because they do ask you riddles and they do make fun of you when you're trying to like find out the stuff.
that?
Isn't
Yeah,
that in Greek mythology?
it's something that like mocks you a little bit, and I'm trying to remember because I'm like diving deep into like my like mystical creature like lore. Mock you,
I don't see Hades for them.
maybe.
Maybe. Depending on which version we're talking about.
There's literally something called a mock turtle. What if we just called her that? There we
Mock
go.
Turtle from Alice in Wonderland.
Sure, a kobold. Yes. Wait, no, 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 no. What is Homegirl McGee? Red devil
Mhm.
from Baldur's Gate. Her.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I just can't think of the name.
Ah! Baldur's Gate. I feel like so bad. I'm like, I need to tell you the honest answer. Karlach? Karlach. And Karlach
That's
is
what it's called. I remember that.
a
That is right.
tiefling. Mu there we go. Tiefling. Why was that so hard? She's a tiefling. Woo!
Saliva Godiva.
Switch. Well, I was in the witch show with her. So like I'm like thinking of like her as a witch, but even still like she's like so much like she's younger than me, but she's still an old lady half the time where she's like, I just want to make pumpkin soup and make little costumes. So yeah, she's definitely a little witch.
See, I was talking to one of my drag friends down here, and I'm like, see, I look to you as like a godmommy slash auntie. Problem with that is they're like, why do you never represent her? I'm like, do you not remember what Wiccan did in Agatha all along, where he's like, that's not my mom.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how I feel. I'm just like, I feel like she's my mom, but she doesn't claim me yet. I'm waiting.
It'd be like that sometimes. No, even getting like I don't know. I have Oh my God, this is one person down here. I'm actually judging them tomorrow. Where they are so similar to me, it was almost scary, but I'm like, I'm gonna just help them as a little distant auntie. They don't need to be adopted. Plus, the benefit of not being adopted is that way everyone can help you.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, at this point, because Jasper Hex is literally my like father, and then you have Jarvis Hammer, who's my like brother. I'm like, at this point, all Atlanta's family is like connected by somehow.
Basically. Heck yeah.
Okay, so we have one of my favorites from Dracula, Bitch Puddin'.
Bitch Puddin is a swamp something.
Hmm.
This something, a creature of the swamp, but like very, very.
So like a real thinking like Loch Ness Monster, Creature from the Black Lagoon.
She's a swamp creature. She's a creature from the Black Lagoon, I would
Let me
say.
close this door real quick for us.
Okay, sounds good.
Sorry, that bathroom likes to make noise a lot.
It's all good. Yeah, no, swamp creature from the Black Lagoon. I am trying to think. There's this one Marvel character who's like the way that my brain is like not thinking of anything right now. But yeah, swamp
Sorry if you
something.
see Kendall passing by like fans and like Dot. He has to like get ready for a show later too, so.
Oh, y'all stay booked. Love that.
Yeah, when you live together, Covenant D'Angelo.
That's so true. Yeah, I don't know. Swamp creature, swamp thing, swamp thing. Motherfucker,
You
this
know
is
what I can see her as too? I
yeah.
was thinking about this when I was watching Agatha. I was like, why do I see Bitch being literally fucking Rio?
I could see, oh my God, yeah, you're right. But
Because you said Marvel, that's why I was like, maybe that could be an opinion too.
I was also thinking of you've seen Harley Quinn, right?
You said which one?
You've seen Harley Quinn.
Yeah, of course. Like that's my icon right there.
There we go. Clayface. That's
Clayface,
who
I
she
can see.
is. She's Clayface. You know, that has the elements of some Swamp Thing in there,
Mhm.
but also she's an actress down. I have to give her that those props,
Yes.
into the role. It's super easy.
I have Indica Gemini.
Okay, so Indica of everybody, she doesn't live in Atlanta, but I'll also talk about Indica a little bit. So she is, I would actually probably give her more of like that Rio type of like green witch, if anything, because she's the one who is literally like the one who's all about weed and also nature. So yeah. But if you've met her, she likes to play a little bit. She will tease you a little bit. She bites.
Yes.
So because she likes to blaze up and she has a little bit of a bite to her bark, I have to say Cerberus.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if you know this one, but please tell me you know this one because she came from Atlanta, Angeria.
Yeah. Of course I know Angeria. Let's see. She is so nice, very mother, but just like all around like a good time gal.
Mhm.
Um, I would have to say, so I said imp before, but she'd be like a nymph, but not like
I
a
can see that.
sexy nymph, but more of like a hee type of like playful nymph.
Well, with that, that has been Shade or Glade.
We did it. That was fun. That was hard. That was new. I like that.
So let's touch on, now that we've touched on the Atlanta drag artists that we have there, let's
Hmm.
touch into the Atlanta drag scene and community.
Cool.
So your roots run deep in Atlanta drag scene, hosting your all-black drag show, Neon Black, being involved in Amen the Drag Show, What's the Events, Crossover, ATL, and more. You're not
Hmm.
just a performer, but a community builder. How does it feel to help create the spaces and support others in the community?
I think it's how's it feel? It's like really interesting. It doesn't like really ever feel real to me, honestly. It just feels like pretty natural just to do like what I do and like produce what I produce. Like so like Neon Black was literally and I know more about them now, but it was because I didn't like know where I could find like specifically black artists like
Mhm.
in my scene at least. And of course there's like things like Stars of the Century that happens at Heretic, or like Bulldogs does drag as well too. I just didn't know about those spaces. No one told me about those spaces or to go to those spaces if I wanted to see black drag. And so like, I was like, I made Neon Black. It was more so for me. And then like other people started to like it, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of crazy. And so like, and there's points in time where I'm like, I've been doing that show for like 6, 7 years. Like, do I just like let it die? Like, does anybody even care? And then like people tell me, they're like, oh no, I actually really super love this show. Thank you so much for doing it. You were able to like, it was like some people's like first ever bookings in Atlanta and help them get in like contact with other people to like, you know, uh spread out and like get their drag career started. And same thing also with like Amen, Wussy, and Crossover. Like it's like, well, let's see, like Amen I'm just like involved with, but it's still like a those are like my best friends. Like that's amazing to like be able to work with them. Wussy is an absolute beast of like a drag factory. Like it's crazy how much stuff we've been doing, especially when you think of like how many people like really work for Wussy. It's like one or two people, and it's like crazy that we able are able to like do so much. And then Crossover is on a little bit of a hiatus right now, but like that's also just kind of like I made this for me, and I feel like just being like a kind of a there are people out there, and maybe some people can relate where you don't feel like you really like you were different from everyone. Like you don't feel like you belong with anybody. And I feel like when you start to pay attention to yourself in all the ways that you are different from the masses, you kind of realize you aren't the only one, as long as you're like more so being very unabashedly you. So like for me, I could have just like if I wanted to like I could have like dropped the cosplay thing entirely. I could have just been like, you know what, there's enough black people around. I don't have to like make a show just for neon black. But if you as one person cares about something, that's how
You
and you
never
care
give it.
about it loudly. That's how you find other people who also care about the thing you care about loudly. And that's kind of how community is made.
You built like so much for the Atlanta, and I'm just like I'm so proud of that for your journey too.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so thankful for the city. I can never go away.
Well, in Atlanta, there is a diverse array of drag and queer talent. How does that influence your own performance style and the way you view drag?
Honestly, I just steal from everybody. Like, there's so many talented people where I'm like, oh, this is crazy. You just did this one move. Oh, let me learn from like how you did this. Or like, oh, you cut your crease this way. Oh, cool. Like, let me like, learn from how you did that. And I feel like that also like helped me become like a more diverse performer. Like, I know there's a consistency with what I do from venue to venue, but if you need me to be spooky, I can still be spooky.
Yeah.
If you need me artsy, I can still be artsy. If you need me to be pageant, I can be pageant. And it's
So a
like,
variety of like aesthetics for you.
absolutely. And it's like there's like I can like, roll with any of the crowds, and I like love that the city's diverse enough for me to be able to learn from like any of them and everybody basically.
I think for fans that don't like know you from outside of Atlanta, like what I've seen you do, not like it's not just like that diversity with your drag aesthetics, but it's something I will say this again that I've always looked up to you for because I'm like, yes, I have a style that's like grunge, spooky, gender fluid, all of that, but also
Oh,
cosplay. But I can still do glam. I can still do spooky. I can still do any sort of thing that you want me to do.
exactly. Yeah. Like that diversity is definitely something that will take us both far, I think.
Hmm. Well, are there particular artists or leaders in the Atlanta scene who inspired you? Anyone who mentored you?
So my mentor, my drag mom is Allosaurus Rex.
Mhm.
She definitely helped me like get my footing in the bar that we work at called Mary's. And so that she also like helped me paint like the first a few times, only the first time. So that was like super nice of her. Eva Destruction was mad inspiring because she also used to live in Atlanta as well, and she like as we were talking about was like a drag chameleon, so she could like
Yeah.
do, like Broadway, dancing, ballads, Gaga, like anything. So that was inspiring. And of course, we mentioned her before. Bitch Puddin was also like she taught me how to be like a sister. She's just like so like she's so immensely nice, it's crazy. Like that, no matter how big you ever think you are in drag, you still have to care about the person next to you.
Yeah.
And that's like something that, keeps me like not like humble, but I'm like I think for me, like, just like treat everybody with respect. Even like the other performers in the show, but also the person running the sound, the person who is working the door. Like they are all people too, and they all deserve like the same amount of like
They all
attention,
deserve the love and
respect.
appreciation.
Even if there's like a Rue girl in the even if there's like a Rue girl in the house, a Rue girl uh headliner for that night, don't give her all the attention. Like everyone else is just as important as well. Um,
Yeah, see, that's
also,
the thing,
yeah.
mentioning rude girls right now. That's the thing. These fans don't realize what these queens do on a like daily, and I'm just like, sometimes they look at these artists and I'm like, just because of who they are on TV doesn't mean that's who they are out of TV.
Oh, absolutely. I've met like so many of them so far, and like some of them are like a lot cooler than you would think, then some of them aren't as cool as you would think, or it's like, oh, I used to be a fan of you. Never mind. So, yeah, it just happens. That's life.
So, what would you say is unique about the Atlanta drag scene compared to other places?
I would say what's unique about Atlanta Drag is that we're actually kind of let's see. We're a little bit self-contained, which is like a good thing, I would say. Like, people don't really come to Atlanta, but people also don't really like leave Atlanta, so we kind of like developed our own like style of like performance. We have like a lot of different scenes in Atlanta as well, so we have like a really good like type of variety. Like I feel like there's some place for everyone to fit in. I think our drag also just won't die. Like there's like so many like venues that close. There's people who quit. Like times get tough, and like for some reason, like we're still out here kicking, and because of the love of the game. So,
Hmm.
uh, there's always going to be like people who care a lot about their drag. I also feel like I said, like self-contained. Like there's a lot of people out there who are doing drag to be famous, to get on Drag Race. We actually have a lot of people, so many people here who just do drag as self-expression because they love the art form of it, because they want to be
Definitely.
creative, because they're like, they want to like show how they paint, what they're feeling, their emotions and whatnot. We have like a lot of like really good conceptual from the heart for the love of the game drag, I would say.
Yeah, Drag Race and Dragula opened a lot of like doors for drag artists like out in the world. But I feel like where I came from, it came from more theater since I was like 12, and I was like, oh, so you're telling me I can do the same thing but in drag?
Exactly.
So mentioning that you're the winner of Glitz All Stars 2022. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said it right. And that's no small feat. How did that experience shape you, and what did you learn about yourself during the competition?
That was so it was like a one night competition, but it was like the All-Stars version of like what we normally do at my home bar Mary's.
Mhm.
Um Preparing for it was kind of crazy. I feel like every time I compete, I level up in my drag a little bit, but also I'm like really tired. So I'm not sure if I want to compete again. But I think like I really did push myself. I tried to use Ava foam. I like had my first structured wig. It was like this like super intricate um like heart shaped thing. It was really cute. And then also I know how to like play the people's emotions a little bit. So I did like two songs like I knew the judges would like go crazy for. Um which I think I did a pretty good job at. I think it's like it was very like time consuming. I had to like take off work to like work on my stuff. It was really interesting winning because I didn't believe I won. I think that what happened before, there's a competition I had before where I got second place. And that was a multi-week competition. So I was like, oh, I'm obviously winning. I'm obviously winning. I'm obviously winning. And they got second place. And I was like, oh, damn, humbled quickly. Um, and so even when they called my name, saying like, oh, .com, you won, I'm like, are you sure? Yeah, I'll take it if you will let me. And it was like hard to like feel happiness for myself in that moment just because I didn't really believe it. But I think that's like more of like an emotional thing I have to kind of like go on where it's I still have that mindset of like, being a baby drag queen, of not really having a lot of accolades. And so like when you actually get the thing that you've been like working hard towards, like taking some time to be like, hey, yo, this is crazy. I literally did that.
Yeah.
Like pat yourself on the back because you won. And like I don't know, it's hard to accept that you did the damn thing, but sometimes you do. So revel in it. So yeah, if that kind of makes any sense.
Well, congratulations, winner of 2022.
Thank you.
I know it felt good to even do the step down too.
Oh,
Y'all
well, here's
have
the
done the
thing.
step down yet.
We haven't done it yet. So I'm still current reigning.
Well, you're still have your crown right now.
Absolutely.
So we've seen you serve looks and bring the house down in Atlanta, but are there other cities you love to perform in or bring your shows to?
So, for performing in, I wanna like where I wanna perform and also just where I wanna visit. So I wanna like definitely go to San Francisco. I wanna go to San Diego, Seattle, and not Dallas. I'm gonna go to Austin, in December for Austin Drag Fest. So I'll be there. I'm not performing, but also I don't really feel like I have to perform. Um, and what? Denver. There we go. Maybe Toronto. Canada's really curious. I don't know what's going on in Canada, but I'm like, I should figure that out just to see like what the drag is up there is like.
Yeah,
But
I've
yeah,
met some queens from Canada, and I'm like, they're so nice, actually, like when you get to meet them in person.
I'm certain. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess also back to New York. I was born in New York, but I never got to the chance to like be queer there as an adult. So
Mhm.
I think it'd be fun just to be like, yeah, I got to finally like perform as a native New Yorker. It'd be cute.
So shows and family is such a powerful force in our lives, especially in the drag world. I have my Hex family with my drag father Jasper Hex, who's actually from Atlanta. I know
Mhm.
Dots probably knows him.
Yeah, we went to college together.
Really? He never told me that.
Wow, fake fan, fake fan. Yeah, no, we used to went to SCAD Atlanta. And we hung out in the TV room of Springhouse all the time. Well, not all the time, but like, we were both there like at the same time, like a lot. So yeah.
Look at all the drag artists coming together.
Crazy. Yeah, actually the person who I used to date was also like best friends with him too. So like even after college that happened. So yeah, crazy times. Crossover episodes.
Well, I also have my Divine family with Serenity Divine, and I know you probably, like as you've said before, not only are you well loved, but you have chosen family in your own drag scene.
True, yeah, I have my drag kid Percocet, who we mentioned before. He unfortunately doesn't live in Atlanta anymore. He had to move, but he is in Charlotte now, but he's still mad cool. Every single time he comes down, I'm like, can I make you little costumes for you to take back with you? Like, let me be your mom. And like, it's interesting that he doesn't like, he's still like farther away, but I still care about him a lot. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, how has chosen family in Atlanta embraced and supported you as you've evolved from dancing to cosplay, design, hosting? How do they inspire you, and what does that bond mean to you?
I feel like a lot of the chosen family aspect is like you kind of forget that it happens both ways sometimes, you think of it as like, oh, this is the family who I choose, but then sometimes you just get picked by people where they said, oh, you're a family now, and I'm like, what? And like it just kind of like sticks. Yeah, there's like people who, like, I think for me, I takes a lot for me to like kind of like open up to people sometimes. And so like usually with other people, being like, hey, I want to be close to you. I want to like, have a connection with you that helps me a lot. And so I feel like what they've taught me is to like, let people in, like don't hide behind a facade or like it's okay for me to speak up every now and then. So yeah, no, it's definitely like having a chosen family teaches you to feel like you belong also because it's what they want from you too.
Chosen family actually helps a lot with those people too who never really had that family bond either.
Absolutely, yeah. Like my drag mom hosts Thanksgiving uh for anybody who goes to the bar. Like if you've ever been once, or even if you've never been, she's like, all right, cool, come on over to my house for Thanksgiving. And she does that like every single year.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I know usually what I do with my like chosen like family with the D'Angelos, we always have like Christmas and Thanksgiving together. So
Oh, that's so cute. I love that.
yeah, they always want mommy to cook in the kitchen, and I'm like, I'll cook. Y'all gotta clean though.
That's only fair.
So, what's one piece of advice or lesson you received from your drag family that stuck throughout the years?
I would definitely just say like the way that they believe in me also, like I have to believe in myself. I know with like Taylor Alexander, she like it's that weird thing. I'm not sure what happened first. Like she just like kept booking me and booking me. I'm like, am I good at what I do? Uh, and like, she just like believed in me. And so I think like, it's that weird thing where like, she's still like family, but also like my boss sometimes because of she's the showrunner. But honestly, like if these people can like, think you're cool, why can't I think I'm cool? You know what I mean?
Well, the drag family teaches a lot of family values and a lot of self-love as well.
That they do.
What's the best part of having a chosen family in the scene, and what does it bring to your life that you would get otherwise?
I think for me, it's like having people who I can really trust, like really trust. Cause like doing drag in any scene, honestly, like there are people who are gonna like, talk about you behind your back or who are like waiting for you to quit or like just like rooting for your downfall or like would just even without the more small thing would be like they would like spread rumors or like share your secrets and stuff. And so like having somebody who really you can really like confide in and like trust um like really trust that they won't tell anybody about what you confide in them with is literally essential almost. Like this will definitely something you can get from your chosen family.
So, speaking of shared experiences,
Yeah.
remember our reunion at Betchin, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So, I want to say to our fans out there, you can actually pick up your own Com merch now.
A
Yeah, I was like so surprised. I'm like, wait, that is my auntie. I'm like, because I'm like, I kept looking and I'm like, Kendall, I'm
yeah.
like, why do I recognize like family over there? And I'm like, I gotta go over there. Next thing you know,
No, it's crazy. I loved being able to like run into you like that because it's like I don't know, like DragCon's like such a wild experience. I think that's also why I'm going to like the one in Austin. But like just like being able to like run into people who I do not get to see ever is like it's basically like a little family reunion, which is so cute. Like, so yeah, I don't know. I'm very glad I got to see you. Like, cherish that moment.
well, hopefully, this brings up actually my next question.
Mhm.
Can I ever get a performance in Atlanta, auntie, if I ever come down?
Just have to figure out which show, but we could figure something out for sure.
Well, I will definitely let you know a month beforehand. I know
Please.
Kendall's actually supposed to go down there with family for his grandparents next week, but I think we're probably coming down like probably like next year. I'm trying to plan it in my head because I do want to see my family again.
Wait, what time?
So I'm actually not going to be there for Thanksgiving because I'm staying with my manager because he just lost his family, so
Yeah.
don't want to keep him alone. But Kendall, I think, is actually going down there Thanksgiving week to visit his
Okay.
grandparents. I might tell him to hit you up so maybe y'all can hang out.
Yeah, depends on my schedule, but absolutely, that'd be cute.
But I will definitely let you know, bring you back up whenever I'm in Atlanta.
Please do. Please do.
And if we ever see each other in LA, if you go next year.
I don't know if I'm gonna go back. Like, it was expensive, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I looked at my price and I'm like, I already spent money on Vans Warped Tour. Then I spend
Yeah.
money on not only that, but Descendants, the concert that's coming down here, and I'm like, okay, all I have to wait for, if it happens in July again, I can go. Now, if it happens in May, that's a definite no.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see. TBD.
Well, do you have a favorite memory or performance with your drag family that's particularly meaningful to you?
Okay. So there's this one time where I severely injured myself. My leg, I could
Ooh.
not walk, and this was right as I got done doing a performance. Could not walk at all. But my drag son was there. And I don't know. It's so funny. Literally, like, I couldn't even like get up out of the chair without like intense pain, like not even like bouncing on one leg. And so he and I took like the silliest selfie, just like cheesing and being like, everything is okay. And like really is like one of the most like, traumatic moments of my life. But it's just like so funny that he got to be there for that. I know he was concerned and stuff too, but I don't know, there's something that I was actually able to use that moment to help out somebody else who also severely hurt their leg and be like,
Mhm.
hey, I know you're in a lot of pain right now. Let's take a silly picture. Just and like it's just like oh, it just like helps ease the tension, like make things like less serious. So yeah, that was like a really fun memory of mine, I would say.
Yeah, that sounds like a funny memory, but I'm glad you're okay now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Remember to stretch.
One thing I can tell my fans, remember to stretch, but one thing that if you know you've been doing drag right, I always used to tell myself, if I'm not hurt by the end of the performance, then I was doing it wrong. Because I'm like, I gotta use like a lot of ibuprofen because I
Yeah.
like dancing. I gotta use a lot of ibuprofen and it's not aqua icy hot
Smart,
nowadays.
smart. Yeah, taking care of yourself is literally essential.
I think where it's like me, it comes naturally now because I work out like 6 times a week. So like
Yeah,
after that, it's like I really don't notice it unless I'll get a cramp somewhere.
yeah. Fair. So make sure you stay hydrated too. That'll help out with those.
Well, it's time for spooky story time.
Okay.
So we're gonna get a little shady. Atlanta is known for the nightlife, but one thing I know they're known for is their fair share of stories.
Hmm.
We have to know. We're gonna get a little deep right here. What's the weirdest, wildest hookup story you've ever experienced in the city?
Weirdest, wildest. I don't want to be too vulgar. There are some people where I did hook up with them and I never saw their face ever. So that was like it was like a
So it's
heads
completely
down.
pitch black dark.
It was a heads down, ass up, which is crazy because I'm like, I could rob you right now, and you had no idea. But I didn't rob them. I let them keep their stuff, so yeah, that was nice.
See, that's
But
the thing with like even going on with like I don't know if you ever heard of Stiffies too, like this new app. Because
yeah, that's how I found them.
yeah,
Yeah,
because I'm just like I keep every time I watch like porn, I'm just like, what the hell is Stiffies?
it's it's for people who just want to nut. Like, there's no soul in it. Like, but yeah, that was a Sniffy's hookup where, yeah, I went over again. I still have no idea what he looks like. So, strangers.
Mystery.
Hmm.
So, what's the spookiest or most unexpected thing that's ever happened to you during a show?
The first thing I think of, so have you heard of a show called Agatha All Along?
Yes.
Yes, you heard of it. You're so well read.
You know, I keep wanting to rewatch it again.
Well, they actually got to watch us. I was hosting a show in Atlanta because it filmed in Atlanta. And so we were looking out into the audience and there is like literally like so the people are seated like sorry. Seated. And then there's somebody who's like right on in front of the stage. And so I look down and it is Patty LaPone.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
And she is like gaggy, no, not gaggy. She is like freaking out. She's like, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God!" Just the fact that we're in drag, and I'm like, "That's part of the prom, right there, just crazy." And so then you look to your right, and there's Catherine Hahn sitting in one of the chairs, and so like, yeah, they just came to our drag show just randomly. So that was insane.
See, I'd be fucking scared like that. I think the scariest experience, I've never experienced it yet. The scariest experience I would have to say is if I ever saw Indina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth at one of my shows.
Yeah. Oh, that would be gaggy. I mean, like, who knows? Maybe one day.
Yeah, like I know Indina loves drag a lot, so does Kristen.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, if you had to describe your drag style using one Marvel character, who would it be and why?
One Marvel character. We could say I don't think I'm Mystique. I feel like I'm Pixie. Like, she's like one of the X-Men too. But she has like, her pink hair. She's a little bit frilly and girly, but she also just like makes magic happen. Maybe actually, wait, no, Dazzler? No, I'll go with Pixie.
I can
Pick.
see Pixie. I
Yeah.
think if I had to answer that question for myself to follow you up, I'm gonna have to say like it used to be Scarlet Witch until Agatha, and I started reading more comics, and I was like, okay, Wiccan is literally me right there. That's my boy side.
Aw, how so?
I guess when I was, because I do gender fluidity, so there's not only Samara that you see, but then there's also like Sam, who's like very like smart, very emo, but he doesn't let people like know it. And he's like kind of the one who's like, I can be that kind of trickster, but you won't know when I'm tricking you.
Okay. All right. Do
So
you
I
know?
think as I saw Wiccan, I'm like, and people kept telling me, they're like, why does that remind me of Sam's personality? Like even Kendall said that, and I was like, I don't know why. I don't know why I keep watching, and I'm like, okay, I see it now.
Oh, okay. Cute.
Yeah, I say like I do want to do a Wiccan cosplay one day. I see for me, Samara is more of like Scarlet Witch kind of, and then you have Sam, who I consider her kind of like son.
Hmm.
He's more of a Wiccan kind of character.
Cute. Okay. That's always fun.
Okay, Dot, I need you to come with me as we go back to the underworld portals back in time.
Okay, let's do it.
We are here.
Oh, wow, that was so fast. The traffic was so light.
So picture this.
Okay.
Atlanta and a young child picking out their first Halloween costume. What was yours, and do you remember how that costume made you feel?
One of the first Halloween costumes I had was Batman Forever. I just thought it was neat. I love the little like Batwing thingies. I felt so kick-ass. However, because it was cold, global warming wasn't really a thing. I had to wear a jacket over my goddamn Halloween costume and zip it up all the way. And so what I would do is I would like have the little like Batman Forever sleeves like poking out from the bat wings poking out from the sleeves of the coat at least. But yeah, no, that was a good time.
Yeah, I don't even remember my first month. Like, I think yeah, I can't even remember my first Halloween costume.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's the shocker. Well, growing up, what were you like as a kid? Any hints of the performer you become?
I was no, actually. I was one of those not seen, not heard kids. I hung out in the basement, played games with my brother. Did not really speak up a lot, actually. I am very introverted. Very introverted. So yeah, no, I think my only like hint of like being a performer really was liking a lot of pop music, the Britney Spears, and whatnot, Cinderella 2, or Cinderella 3, High School Musical and whatnot. And then in high school, finally, I did musical theater for 2 years. So like I liked the stage a little bit, but also knowing what to say, and having the choreography planned out was definitely helpful. Also, I did hip hop club for like 2 years too. Maybe just 1 year, but still.
So a little bit of that theater kid, a little all around, you know.
Yes, but not it's just shy about it. So
So when did you officially start in drag and what was your first performance like? Did it go the way you expected or were there surprises?
So like my first ever performance was just really like it was for my friends in the living room on the couch. So like, that went as expected. And then my first ever, I think that actually, when you start off drag, you overthink it. Like you are like mad prepared for that stuff. Like you make sure you know all the words. You're like, how's this gonna go and whatnot. So like, I think it went pretty well. I did Haven't You Noticed I'm a Star from Steven Universe, and I'm like, yeah, this is so super cute. No, that was my first one on the couch. And then my first one IRL, like outside the in the club, was Starstruck by Santa Gold. So yeah, it was a cute one. I had a good time.
Well, moving from the stage, what's one memory from your early drag days that you still look back on fondly?
Um, let's see. I would probably say something I would look back on fondly would be. Let's see. I mean, I had the times where I've won. I think like any single time I've ever really touched somebody and really connected with somebody. Like, and that sounds like generic, which is fine, I guess. But I don't know. I think there's like times where like I doubt myself,
Hmm.
and then that other person, like, I just did something like amazing, and they're like, oh, like, I'm black and I'm gay, and my parents don't love me, this, blah, 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 blah. Like, just being able to, like, really, connect. And maybe it's because I opened up, like, on the mic or something. And it's just so, moments like that, like, just mean a lot to me. Because I think, you can share your art for, like, art's sake, but then, like, to be like, oh, I'm actually out here, like, doing the Lord's work and helping people, and I can feel God smile down upon me every single time I cross dress,
Yeah.
like that type of you know emotional stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of emotions, especially as you look back throughout the years that you have done this art form. Because I
Yeah,
look at myself like back then, I'm like, compared to a year ago, I'm like, I have grown a lot.
yeah,
And sometimes I just like looking at those that like first performances and I'm like, she does not do that now. She does not paint that way anymore.
oh, that's also fair. I forgot. I know I have a makeup tutorial out there, but I still don't. Yeah, I still don't know paint like that anymore. I think I almost forgot how. So yeah.
It kind of comes naturally if you've been doing it for a while too.
Yeah, that's also fair. That's also fair. I can see that.
So I know you're a dedicated Comic-Con fan and a DragCon attendee, meeting you last year again.
Mhm.
When did you first start watching Drag Race and how did it impact you and influence your craft?
Ha! So, DragCon, Drag Race. Let's see. So, I was a camp counselor, and because I'm visibly queer and it's hard to hide the fact that I'm gay. All the other like gay campers were like, "Oh my gosh, one of the adults is also gay too. We can like bond over like gay stuff, blah 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 blah, boys." And so that was just when Violet Chachki had won Drag Race.
Mhm.
And so they were talking about
Interesting.
that, and then they asked me, "Have you ever seen Drag Race?" And I said, "Of course I haven't seen Drag Race. I would never watch Drag Race because drag is offensive to women." And they're like, "Girl, shut up. Watch Drag Race." And I'm like, "No, you can't make me." And I ended up watching it. And I was kind of floored, honestly. They were like hilarious, fun. I was like, "What is this thing?" And yeah, no, from there, you get into drag, you think it's cool, then you like start drag yourself. It's a gateway
I
drag,
think
gateway drag.
like the first season I watched was actually season 10 and like a lot of people say this all the time but they're like did you get inspired by like queer? I'm like yeah. That's my like icon right there.
I can see that.
So with your talent and charisma fans would love to know, are we ever going to get to see you on the show?
I have no clue. I mean, like, I've auditioned, but like, here's the thing. It's a lottery. Like,
Yes.
on the show, like, they aren't, from my understanding, looking for who's the best at drag. They're looking for who they want for TV. And then drag just happens to be the second thing about it. And like, I don't know. I know I'm not like that big of a personality, so they might not want somebody who's as quiet as I am, but
Yeah.
also maybe they will. Maybe they want somebody who's more of a dancer. Maybe they want a different style of dance. Maybe they want somebody who's good at drag. Maybe they want somebody who's bad at drag. Maybe I'm too good. So like, it's not up to me. Like, I would love to be, but also like, I'm not gonna like. I'll try. I'll try, but if like 10, 20 years go by, I might just give up on it. But we'll see for now.
Well, fans, if you ever want to see Dot on Drag Race, shout out World of Wonder on social media. Make it happen.
We'll see. Yeah.
I can see you totally doing it too, and that's why I
Yeah.
noticed like because I see a lot of queens that represent like our style of art, and
Yeah.
then especially the recent season, Megami just came off with her cosplay, so you might
Right.
have a shoe in like in the next couple of years.
That's also something, and we could talk about this a little bit. Um, that's something that I'm a little bit scared about. So in all of my auditions so far, I mentioned cosplay, but I recall Megami saying that doing cosplay drag is tricky because of copyrights.
Mhm.
And people have done it before, but like for that to be your shtick, they're like, hey, like don't do this cosplay, don't do that cosplay. So I'm not sure if I might have to like hold off on it in the show and then do cosplay outside. I don't know. I don't know if advertising the fact that I do cosplay is like for the best.
Yeah, see, that's why I did tell Kendall this one of two of my Snatch Game characters actually well come from Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss. So I want to do Angel Dust like on Snatch Game so bad. But
Mhm.
I'm worried, but I'm like seeing they're starting to do characters now. So that could transfer over,
Yeah.
but I could also do because that's where Brandon Rogers comes from. I know it's comedy a lot too. So I'm like I could do a mix of Brandon Clash Bledsoe with it too.
Yeah. I mean, I think like just being, like I said before, like being unabashedly yourself is probably the best thing to do.
Yeah, I feel like what like they always say they're always looking for who do you represent as the authentic, be yourself kind of thing.
Absolutely.
So, are there any drag race artists who you look up to, you're inspired by, who's had the most influence in your style or approach?
I mean, that like like Dax, the Vixen's always cool. Willem is like the most hilarious. Deja Sky is like best mug. Rock'em Sakura is like great cosplayer and like super detailed. I just love Denali's polish. I love Jax's energy. Like, there's so many people who are just like, or just really stupid cool.
Yeah, I definitely like feel that like I was saying to you like earlier when Aquaria opened those doors, when Evie opened those doors, that's what made me be like, okay, now I can actually do this shit because I'm just like my art is kind of in line with their kind of aesthetic.
Heck yeah, yeah, and like it helps you make you a little bit more marketable when people open those doors for you.
Hmm. Like I said, fans, if you see Kendall, he's just getting makeup. So
Just opening doors.
yes.
But I need some liquid. I need some gasoline. There we go.
There you go. Oh, fun. I'll drink to that.
Yeah, he just found French vodka at Costco.
This is
Oh,
not for the faint of heart.
fancy.
So, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice as they first started drag, what would it be and why?
I would say record as much as you can. Because I feel like, okay, so I think there's like literally 2 or 3 years of my drag, I just never got recorded. Like, never really took pictures, never took videos. And I'm doing great like now. But like, I kind of like miss those days. I want to be able to not even relive it, but like one, if I had the chance to post more about like what I did in the past, that would have been great. And then two, yeah, I don't know. It's like just being able to, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Yeah, just being able to share about what you did and having all that archived and recorded so you can like see your progress over the years, is fantastic. So yeah, just like be on video more, like get a tripod, like record the stuff, even if it is like the same outfit over and over again.
Mhm.
Like just document what you do. I wish I could have done that more.
Yeah, I started documenting recently, and I've noticed like when I first started during like COVID, I was like, this is why, because we started Bad Kids back then before it became Covenant D'Angelo Entertainment. I was like, every time I go to delete that page, I never want to fucking delete it because I'm like, those were good memories. So like, it's still there.
Yeah, it happened.
Because I'm like, I remember the time like me and Iggy Von Moon who started the program. It was more of I'm like, Iggy, when you get the chance, you can delete it, but I can't because every time I try to go like delete profile, tears roll up in my eyes.
Aw. I mean, maybe you could archive it. I don't know.
I'll figure it out one day.
Think you will.
So I have another game for you, and this is
Okay.
you're gonna like this one because it's pulling up a lot of your drag like looks that you've done.
Oh, okay. Oh, what do you have? Okay, let's see.
So this one's called Hex or Flex. We're going to look back at some of your most iconic cosplay and drag looks. You'll decide if each look deserves a hex, which means it's mystical, magical, and truly bewitching, or a flex is fierce, fabulous, and a total showstopper, but maybe less mystical. You ready?
I think so. Okay, okay.
Let's see if I can. Give me 1 second to pull. There it is. So pulling up Hex or Flex, I have this Beast Boy look.
I am going to say that is a hex because I'm sorry. I'm green and this one of the few Drag King mugs that I've done that I think looks pretty cool. Yeah, no, gonna eat
Yeah,
that up.
I like this one. It's like different compared like to the ones I've seen before. I was like when I pulled this one up, I'm like I have to put this one in here.
Oh, absolutely.
So what would you give this? A Hex or Flex?
Oh, hex, absolutely.
So then I have the character we were just talking about, Wiccan.
Yeah. I don't think I did it, but I remember what it looks like. That one is a little bit of a flex for me. Even though, I do like that character a lot, I could have like put a little bit more work into that one, so that is a flex.
What would you do differently if you had to do it again?
More custom hair,
Hmm.
more custom outfit, and I definitely would have a
So let's move on from Wiccan, and we have, I believe this is Power Rangers, right? Or
it's a,
which one is this? Am I getting it wrong?
yes, Power Rangers, that one, yeah. Oh, that one. Oh my God, that was like one of my first like custom costumes I had commissioned by Tara Card in Pensacola, Florida. I'm super proud of that one. I don't wear it as much anymore because I got a stain on it because I performed too hard. So it was just like the color started to bleed, but I think it looks super cool anyway. So that is a hex for me.
Yeah, I would say a Hex as well too. This Clueless one, we were just talking about this series.
Absolutely, that one is. I'm sorry. I feel like they're all hex. Oh, they're mostly hexes. The Clueless one. Another commission I have, I just like super love it. And like honestly, I like that costume so much because I can just wear it as a costume and people don't know that it's from Clueless. But like
Mhm.
that one, I made sure to order fabric that was literally a replica of that same like plaid pattern. So it's like spot on.
I mean, it looks exactly like Cher, so
There you go.
Waluigi.
Personally, well, it could be a hex, but then also I'm so mad I don't have any type of mustache. And I'm like, why didn't I do that? So, for the sake of diversity and holding ourselves to higher standards, it might have to be a flex for me. But people really like that one.
You say if you would do it again, you would add the mustache too.
In some weird way or form. Also,
Mhm.
yeah, definitely I would need the mustache.
Danny Phantom.
Oh my God, that one is. Oh, it, it's cute.
Hmm.
I'm really proud of it. Like here's the thing, like it's like I made the whole entire thing, uh, but it's slightly too small, and I'm so mad about it. It was like a pain to get into it every now and then. So I, so I gave that one away.
Hmm.
So I'd have to say that one is a flex. Oops.
And you said you probably make it like a little bit bigger for you.
I have to, yeah. Or just like stretchier fabric. I don't know.
Yeah, me, I like stretchy but also tight, like I was saying before.
Right.
It just shows up all my angles. That's what I like.
Here you go.
Tinkerbell.
Oh, I'd say probably Hex, actually. That one came together kind of crazy. Like, so that was originally supposed to be the Green Fairy from Moulin Rouge, and so I got to use it for another Green Fairy. I'm very happy about that. My first attempt at bra cups, and I think it looked pretty decent. So yeah, Hex.
X for that one. Like we were just talking about. Scarlet Witch.
That one's a flex. Let me tell you why. That one is another dye sub outfit where I'm not the proudest of, and I feel like the cape was just a sheet. So like it's not like my favorite. But also the headpiece from that one got upcycled to the newer one that is covered entirely in sequin. So
Mm.
this iteration, as much as I love her, it's a flex.
Meant to ask you, have you done her multiverse one yet?
Which one are you talking about?
The one where it's like dark red has that crown that goes this way, the
Oh, the
tail that goes
Multiverse
that
of
way.
Madness MCU version. For the most part, I've been avoiding the MCU type of cosplays, uh, just because there's a lot more not necessarily intricate and not as colorful as I'd like sometimes. So I don't know. I like my actual comics versions
Yeah,
of
I
it.
remember taking one of the cosplays I did hella for a competition. I was like, I had to take a lot to make it hella because I'm like, I can't just wear a bodysuit.
Right. Like it has to be like, translatable properly.
Yes. Knuckles.
Oh, Hex, absolutely. That one was fucking crazy. The punching the boxing gloves that was just like upside down K-cups that was like super glued to the boxing glove and they just like wrapped it with
Really?
white tape and then we fixed it in post. But then also like, you know, in the few times working with fur, that I super love and I just think it was like really creative and like I'm happy with that one. That was cute. And I've only like performed in it like maybe once or twice because the gloves broke and I have not fixed them since.
Well, that is stop sharing now. So, let me pick this back up. So, out of all of your looks that I've shown you, what's your most favorite?
My most favorite of all of those would have to be the Power Rangers one. I like you know it's one of the ones that are like in the archive, so I haven't like, really worn it that much. But like
Mm.
that one's probably one of the coolest. The number I do with that one's insane. Uh, it's very me, so I love that one a lot.
Well, Dot, you have been an absolute delight. I'm gonna have to say this. I'm glad to have family again on this fucking channel right here. Your creativity and resilience inspires so many, myself included, and it's truly a joy to watch you light up the Atlanta drag scene.
Thank you. It means a lot to hear. Like, thank you again for having me. Like, I know we had this like plan for like months, and like I'm glad this is finally happening. We got it done.
Oh, it's
Uh,
hard to get you booked because you always be booked, so I gotta get you on a good spot, girl.
and you did. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
This worked out too because right after the show last week, they get to know about more about you from like the videos.
There
So
you go. Absolutely.
so before you go, can you tell our fans where they can follow your journey, where can they find you online, and any exciting projects in the future they can look out forward to?
Yeah, so it's, same Instagram, Venmo, Cash App, whatever handle on all the platforms. It's the.com, TheDottecom. So but I'm usually, if I'm posting anything, I'm so bad at posting, but if anything, I'm posting on Instagram. And then exciting projects coming up. Uh, gosh, I don't even know. I don't know. I'm like taking it like a day at a time. Like I'm about to go do something tonight. I have this one project that I need to literally hire the most insane video editor for, but I have no idea if that's even going to be a thing. Uh, don't know. Couldn't tell you. I just do the drag. That's it.
Well, I'll make sure to tag all of your social media down below. And fans, if you guys want to follow her, go ahead and tap a drag queen because you know we needed to stay looking this good.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you everyone, and thank you Dot again. And this has
Aw.
been Unholy Encounters. Stay spooky,
Ah.
fans.